Hi, my name is Mike Hamilton, Director of Product Marketing at 21CT. Here at 21CT, we're always looking for new and different ways of looking at data, and I'm really excited to show you the native integration between LYNXeon and the Google Prediction API. This video is a brief introduction to the Google Prediction API, another one of the many tools LYNXeon integrates with to provide fraud investigators leads that may be used as investigative entry points. This video will show how simple and easy it is to set up the Google Prediction API, train a model with meaningful data, and make predictions against that model. As an open API, really anyone can do this to create leads, which are then taken to ground and transformed to fully documented cases using LYNXeon. To begin, let me quickly orient you to the screen that you see. On the left side, you see my web browser, and I'm looking at the Google Cloud Console. On the right side of my screen, you see a couple of text files. You see a claims.csv at the top. In the middle, you see new claims.csv, and in the bottom panel, you'll see the project.txt. This Google Project ID is a pre-populated project I've set up for this example. To start, I'll look at the claims.csv file. This will be our training data for the model, and it's made up of 5 columns. In the first column, you see either an N for not fraudulent or F for fraudulent. You'll notice in the second column there's the ICN, which is a unique identifier for a payment within a Medicaid claim. The third column is the quantity of services billed. The fourth column is the amount that is billed, and the fifth column is the allowable amount to be billed. Down here in the middle panel, in the new claims, these are some new claims that I'll be using at the end of this demonstration to make predictions upon. And I'll go ahead and get started. The first step is to upload our training data to the Google Cloud through the Google Cloud Console. So I'll click the upload button and upload my claims.csv, and that will be very quick. And now we have our training data. So that's in our Medicaid storage bucket with claims.csv file name. I'll navigate over here to the Google API Explorer. You can see a bunch of different methods that you can call. The first one that I'll be calling is a prediction train models insert. This is when we start to train our predictive model. First step is to put our project ID. That's the Google Project ID that I mentioned before. And we're going to add a couple of configuration elements here in the request body. The first is the ID. I'm going to call it Medicaid. This will be the model name that we're going to refer to through the rest of the example. And the storage data location. In this case, it's in Medicaid claims.csv. I'll click execute, and we'll get a response back from the Google Prediction API indicating that the training of the model has begun. You can see I've got a 200 OK, and it gives me a self-link back, and of course the stored data location which I specified. At this point, I will go back to the Prediction API Explorer, and I'll use the get method. The get method will allow us to see the status of this model that we've begun training. Again, that's the project ID, and the model ID is Medicaid. And I'll execute this. We'll see a 200 OK response, and you can see that the training status is running. While the model is running, it will continue to give us this status up until the point that the model has completed training. In just a few moments, we'll see that here in the Google Prediction API window. At this point, you can see that the model has completed. The training status does say done, with a classification accuracy of 90%. That's pretty good classification accuracy based on this model. The next step is, once we've completed training our model, we can actually now make predictions against that model. So I will call the prediction method. I will put our project in the ID is Medicaid that we previously specified. And for the request body, we've got to create an input file, which will be a CSV instance, and we're going to have 4 columns that we're going to put into this as we start to make predictions. I'll copy and paste each of these fields and paste them into our Google API Explorer. 1.0, this is 100.00, and 33.95. Now to actually execute, all we have to do is click this button, and it will actually make a prediction. What you can see in this case is that the output label is essentially what classification it has given it, and it gives it scores based on the various types. In this case, a 0.95, which is 95% probability that it's not fraudulent, and just under 5% probability that it is fraudulent. So that's interesting. At this point, we would know from an investigative standpoint, this is probably not a claim we should pursue as an investigation. So let's actually go back, and we'll actually grab this second claim and make a prediction on this claim and see what happens. So So I'll paste the ICN in there. 1.0 is the same. This is 175.87 and 175.87. Click execute. And what you can see in this case is it also thinks this is a non-fraudulent transaction, nearly 97% probability. So this video is just a brief introduction to the Google Prediction API and show you how simple and easy it is to set it up and make predictions that can generate leads, which you would then investigate using LYNXeon. The next video will take you through the workflow in moving back and forth between LYNXeon and the Google Prediction API to generate leads you can then investigate using LYNXeon.